Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Tom.
And this is The Park Bench.
And today I am kind of doing a behind-the-scenes video. About 3 or 4 people have actually emailed me asking for a VFX breakdown of the massively complicated green screen video that I did last week, I think, as you watch this.
Which one was that?
This was why the YouTube algorithm will always be a mystery.
Oh, that's the one with all the in-jokes in it?
Yes, it has an enormous...
jokes.
Yeah, I put a lot of references in there. And I'm sorry, I've been utterly distracted because there are adorable baby ducks crossing the pathway over there.
That's working.
I beg your pardon?
They're just shaking our asses at us.
That's sort of... There we go. Just tail flapping. I also don't know what breed of duck that is. That is not a breed of duck I've ever seen before. It looks like a crossbreed or something. Sorry, wildfowl knowledge here. It comes from, going to uni at York. There you go. We are actually on a park bench. Should have pointed out, for all this time, we have actually come back to a real park bench to do this.
Which is funny, because I went to the University of York and I couldn't give a shit about birds. So sorry, when I say ornith, you say ology. Ornith.
I really hope they did.
On the bus. Ology.
VFX breakdown.
Algorithms.
Yes. This was a massively complicated video. About once a year, I forget how long it takes me to do a video like this, and so I do a video like this, and then I swear not to do a video like that again for about a year. This was... we met up recently when you were coming to the end of that edit and you weren't in the best of moods. I wasn't, that's true.
I could tell by the look on your face that you've been stuck in After Effects for a week.
Yeah, it took about 3 days to do the main swathe of the video and another 3 or 4 days just to fix it. Sorry, the mother duck has gone back for the one missing duckling and is now bringing that across the path. I'll move on. I'm not charmed by many animals, but baby ducks. It's lovely. This took about 8 to 10 hours for After Effects to render on my laptop, and it's a fairly beefy laptop. I don't think it could have done much better than that, but it was a pretty significant render. Someone actually emailed me saying there are all sorts of proxy workflows and things that can make that faster. That's true, but as I'll go on and explain later, the very last thing was a change to the green screen shot on me that affected every frame, so everything had to be re-rendered from scratch. To start off with, the green screen shot. The green screen was at YouTube Space London. It was filmed on the new Blackmagic camera. What's it called?
Was it one of the Ursa ones?
Yes, Blackmagic Ursa, in 4.6K lossless. So every single frame...
Is that just a folder of images?
Yes, it is.
And an audio file?
Yeah, it's 25 raw images per second. So the 6-minute video took up about 115 gigabytes.
Why?
Because green screen keying is really difficult if you have any kind of data compression on there.
Yes.
It's possible to do, but it won't look as good, particularly when you've got a load of kind of hair and backdrop.
Yes, we've tried keying my hair before.
If there's any kind of compression on there, it's really difficult to get it right. It's possible, but it won't look as good. So I figured I've got YouTube's kit. Let's put this at maximum and see what works. And of course, when I'm actually working on it, I use proxies and lower res versions, so it didn't take 10 seconds a frame. As well as that, almost all the frames have some form of 3D camera and lighting on them. So it's got to recalculate all that and recalculate the shadows and everything that goes with it. And it's got to recalculate that regularly as well. So there was a heck of a lot going on in every single frame. Okay. I haven't even got to the graphics yet. There was also the colour correction on me. I set up the green screen lights incorrectly.
You did it yourself?
And it looked fine on the little screen.
Did you look a bit green?
No, I looked a bit grey. I've got some grey hair coming in. To hold the jokes, I've got some grey hair coming in. I do not have entirely grey hair. And if I show you what that green screen shot looked like before I did the colour correction, the lights were at the same level as the camera, so the white light bounced straight off and went straight back in, which is perfect for keying, but ultimately meant that my hair just looked white/grey. So the first thing to go in was to go in and colour correct that grey, which took 2 different passes. Then HSL secondary colour the t-shirt so it actually looked right, and that's so in total there were 4 passes of lumetri colour on there to get everything right.
Here's a lesson, by the way. While you can fix things in
Fix things in post.
Thank you.
Do you want to say that again? I'll add it in.
A little lesson here. While you can fix things in post, it can be an utter arse to do.
Yes.
It's easier to work it out beforehand and then redo everything beforehand than it is to actually do it in post.
Yeah, and this was filmed in log colour as well. I won't go into the details of that, but if you're filming anything professionally these days, if your camera does a log colour profile and you can fix it in post, sorry, not fix it, but correct it in post.
Here's a quick explanation of log colour. It doesn't look like you'd expect it to look like, and it doesn't look like what you'd look like to your eyes. It saves the image in a thing that has enough data for the computer, which means you have to munge it for it to look good, but it's got more data, so then you can munge it better. It's like taking raw photos where you can tweak the shadows and the brightnesses, you know what I mean, the light bits to get the data out.
The analogy I love is that it's like making sure you record audio at a slightly lower level. You've got all the detail in there, and if someone accidentally yells or you suddenly point your camera at something bright, you can fix it because the original data is still there and it's not being clipped at the top and the bottom. Does that make sense?
I have reservations about that.
I thought you would. You're an audio
on.
engineer. Right. So that's all had to fix first, and then we finally start the video. The first section with the computer.
He's watching this off YouTube for reference.
The first section, this is the one bit that doesn't have 3D lighting and shadow. This is just a series of compositions nested to each other. So in After Effects, you can select one layer. You can use the whip pick tool to connect it to another. Pause there. And then as you move one, the other children, as they're called, will follow.
So you've got lots of objects on screen, and you're moving one of them, and they're all...
And they're all following. So you can resize one, rotate one, and they'll all change in sync. The one thing that doesn't change in sync is opacity, because that means you can turn one down and the others will still work. That's all fine. When it moves out onto the computer screen, I've added a bulge effect and a... what's the word? Venetian blinds effect for scan lines to give it a bit of texture in there. I actually had to install a Windows ME virtual machine to get these screenshots.
You didn't just get ones off the internet and Photoshop them?
No, the one that is photoshopped in here is AOL Instant Messenger, because I couldn't actually get that started without an AOL Instant Messenger account, and you couldn't make that work. But other than that, these are all genuine screenshots of genuine Windows ME, apart from things like the text that was being put in in the notepad window.
Read that. Do read that.
What? The text.
I love that bit.
Reference number one. That's the Billy Joel reference, because the last ones in Ha. The last ones in here are. Let me get the timing right. Flash Player, Blogosphere, Screensaver, Free Stuff, Flash Player, Blogosphere, Screensaver, iPhone, MySpace, Online Games, New Rave. We didn't start the fire, and I have. More respect for Billy. I had a lot of respect for Billy Joel, but now I have more respect for Billy Joel, because it turns out just writing 2 stanzas of that when you have the whole of history to choose from for like a 10-year period is really difficult, let alone actually doing the couplet in chronological order by year, which is what he did. each pair of lines in We Didn't Start the Fire is a new year, apart from the last verse, which is like the whole of history from 60s.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Einstein, James Dean, Brooklyn's Got a Winning Team, Davy Crockett, Peter Pan, Elvis Presley, Disneyland are all 1950... 7, I think. It's something like that. Anyway, reference 1. Move on. What else have we got? We've got a couple of other things in here. The instant messenger window that pops up has a reference to that viral video of He-Man singing "What's Up" by 4 Non-Blondes.
I don't know that.
It's the one that was actually titled Magical Secret Powers, but got known on the internet as Hey, Yay, Yay, Yay.
Okay.
Because both from the colour of the text and the LOLJ/K at the end. That was originally your mum joke, instead of, well, you would say that, wouldn't you? It originally said, that's not what your mum said last night. But I decided that joke was a little bit too rude for general consumption when the kid, I wanted
like your mum.
He tags... No, your brother, when someone makes a your mum joke.
When someone makes a your mum joke at my brother on Facebook, he tags our mum in and asks her if it's true. She plays along. I
learned that the hard way. Also worth noting, all the numbers of view counts and things like that end in 301, which is
I spotted that.
old YouTube thing. And also the drones versus lightning one, the emoji is replaced by 2 Unicode character not found things, because that is what Internet Explorer 6 would have done if Internet Explorer 6 still worked.
If you actually spotted that,
Yeah.
please let us know, because really?
Yeah, like there is a joke. There is one in here that, as of when we recorded this, no one has spotted, which I'm kind of annoyed about. The Real Player thing, I did download Real Player to make that work. The bar at the top does track in real time with the video you're watching. The number that it's dialing is an Ofcom drama number, so it can't possibly connect, but it looks realistic.
I'll look that up.
Yeah, I thought you would.
I bet
0207946 is always guaranteed. It's like a 555 number in the US.
I thought it was.
Yep. What else have we got? All the Outlook Express. I had to write all those email titles. There is a Millennium bug one in there, which I quite liked. Some people complained that Windows ME was too early, but I needed a computer that was plausibly in use both in 2000 and in 2007.
Yeah.
And so it had to be that. It was just a bit too early for XP for this bit of the sequence, so I had to keep it. The flash that just happened is to cover the fact that I've now switched to a 3D composition with lighting and everything, and the pixels might not be exactly the same. So that's to cover that. It is one continuous take. I have cheated on that before, and you've seen me cheat on that before. There have been hidden wipes and things like that. This is genuinely one continuous take.
Disappearing hands.
Yeah,
Not like that this time.
yeah, and breathe. All right, where are we?
We're not even a third of the way through.
I looked down there to make sure that I was still on my mark, because I'd done a lot of moving about. If you want to, like, that's where the colour correction failed, and it looks like the back of my head is entirely grey. No one has noticed that yet. Okay. That's genuinely the YouTube paper, and that shadow has been cast by After Effects on it, because these are all 3D layers now placed as if they're in a real studio with a real camera moving around them.
You weren't intending that shadow on that paper, were you?
Yes, I was.
Yeah?
Totally was. I wasn't intending it to work perfectly first time, but it did, because if you set up your composition in After Effects so you have a sensible 0 point, you can just type in, I want this at 500 pixels back and rotated this far.
Okay, I thought that was one of the things I pointed out that I like that you said that you did by accident.
Getting it right first time by accident was there, but the lights were there.
Okay.
I'd say by accident, I typed in I wanted the paper there, and I knew I was there because you can just enter in pixel values, and it looked right.
Okay.
Let's see, what else have we got in here? The Go board is the final position from the Alpha Go match with Google. 2 reasons for that. One is because it's a well-known game of Go, and secondly, because I knew this had to get approved by YouTube Legal, because I filmed at YouTube Space, so I knew it was an image they had the rights to anyway and would let me use. The sound of that box, which I'll play again now because I think I talked over it, was in fact my microwave in my kitchen. And breathe. The hand movements I just matched. I knew what I was going to do roughly there. I don't go into these, by the way, knowing what I'm going to do. I film the green screen and then I match the pictures to it.
That makes sense, because you can change how you say your sentence afterwards and what you talk about, and
yeah,
even if you've got a script, it's quite easy to go on a tangent.
I knew there was going to be a physical black box in front of me that I was going to do things to, but I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know I was going to tell it to spin. The best thing, by the way, for making After Effects look professional, turn on motion blur, make sure all your movements are eased, so they slow down, speed up slow down at the end, speed up at the start.
I think the Shaman were generally in favour of that.
Ease and whiz. That's
Ease are good.
Ease are good. Ease are good. Right, yeah. See what we did there. All the... God damn it, Matt. I was going for sort of for ease and whiz for pulp, but that's...
Naughty. Very naughty.
The 2 things that pop up are just public domain images and nothing special. All the icons on the box are actually Microsoft's emoji font, which is really handy if you want to make pictograms of things.
That font looks surprisingly nice, actually.
It really does. They've done a really nice job designing it. Let's see, what else have we got in here? Yeah, so that looks like a heart. I might be throwing a little bit of sass in this video at clickbait channels, just a little.
Really? Well, I didn't notice any of that at all.
Because the non-clickbait channels have much lower view counts than the ones that aren't. Right, let's skip forward. This is obviously an Alex Jones InfoWars reference. I was amazed I didn't get more Alex Jones fans complaining at me about this, but essentially just a load of the comments said, "Yep, you've been sassy there, haven't you?" Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that. That's fine. The paper in front of me is the YouTube
I spotted
algorithm
that.
paper
I like
again.
that.
Right, we now come to the reference that no one got. Right there. That transition into the cartoon. So first of all, thank you to Matt Lay, who did a wonderful cartoon of me. I basically sent him an email out of the blue saying, can I pay you to cartoon this 15 seconds of video? I was like, yeah, sure. But the transition into... Also, the background in this shot is the park bench background.
Yeah. I could see it, Nick, that.
Right. There was a DreamWorks film many, many years ago called The Road to El Dorado. Back when DreamWorks was trying to compete with Disney,
Yeah.
they did a big 2D animated number. They hired Elton John to do I think Tim Rice, might be wrong there, to do the lyrics for it and music for it because they had done The Lion King.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we're going to hire these guys. And the big song from it was called Someday Out of the Blue. And this is stuck in my head because it was the first time, I think I saw it because they used it as a trailer, used the entire music video as a trailer. And it stuck in my head because it's the first time I'd ever seen live action animation combined. I hadn't seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit at that point. And the transition, the opening of that video is Elton John sitting at a piano. And then it transitions into animated Elton John put into the movie. And the transition between the two, the reason it looks that cheesy in this video is because I have copied that as closely as I possibly can. And here is the comparison. Does the electric lightning bolt start all the way up Elton John? No, it starts about his shoulders. I matched that.
How long did that take?
That took me 2 hours to try and find an effect that looked close enough. It's actually the lightning, it's the off-the-shelf lightning thing in After Effects, pinned manually, frame by frame, and with all the settings tweaked.
Well, I'm glad you did it.
Yeah. It's good for me, if nothing else. As far as I know, no one got that reference or told me about it, despite saying, watch out.
Has anyone seen that film?
I've
only heard of it because you
that's not
mentioned
even
it to me.
in the film. That's just in the music video they released for the film. I said it was obscure. So yes, the background music is just an off-the-shelf thing in YouTube's audio library. This shot, the tablet there has actually been over the top all the way through. It just kind of appears at one point slightly out of frame, and then the camera pulls back through it. It's actually like a window. There is a transparent hole in the middle of it, and the camera is pulling back through, which is why the background moves as if it were a 3D thing behind rather than a picture.
Because it's just been sat there waiting behind the camera the entire time.
I was going to nest it so it looked like you were pulling back on an image, but I liked the effect where it looked like a transparent window better. So I just kept the one, even though it wasn't technically right. And then I kind of ran out of ideas. So the rest of this is mostly just talking. There isn't actually much going on here. I continue
to spin sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I continue to sass things. But that's about it. That's the VFX breakdown. The tricky part is... Oh, no, there is one thing. There's this. That is a off-the-shelf particle effect in After Effects. Run backwards. So it's a composition that has been nested and then time reversed so the things fly in. There's no way to do After Effects.
It's a particle generator.
It's a particle generator with the time run backwards.
So it receives, yeah.
There is sadly no way to do that other than buying an incredibly expensive special particle thing. I didn't want to do that. Oh, well, they got close without me realising it, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'll show you the geese in a minute. The whiteboard comes in. Again, I was starting to run out of ideas and time and was just getting vaguely angry with this at this point. So this is just things moving in and moving out.
So the complexity of the in-jokes just goes down and down and down the further through the editing process you get.
A little bit. There is a tip I would give you. If you are doing something like this and you have digital things coming in and out, if you want it to look more like there's a human behind the camera, move your camera after the thing moves out of shot. You move them in sync, it looks weird and unnatural. You move it as if the camera operator were reacting, and it looks lovely. And that is about it. I think we moved to the end. Oh yeah, there was the one thing I set up at the start. The thing that caused me to re-render everything. And the thing I really should have sorted, not in post. What I should have done was I should have put a little bit of concealer on my lip, just here. Because that morning I'd shaved over something, zit, ingrown hair, no idea what. But whatever it was, I'd just recorded it, just oh, that hurt. I'll put some tissue on it, it'll be fine. And blimey, you're not going to see those geese, but I'm going to show you those geese. Are these geese going to get angry at me if I film them?
Probably, they're geese.
That's true. That's adorable. Anyway, I had a big red blotch here. I did not notice it on the day in the mirror. I did not notice it on the small preview. I didn't even notice it when I looked at the footage. I just went, yeah, that's cool, the key's fine. But if you look at it, you cannot see anything else. I just looked, I know we all see our own blemishes worse than they are. But it was just, I can't see anything.
I did see that before you fixed it. It was a hell of a spot.
It was obvious. To be fair, I didn't see the thing on my lip in the video from Norway. Some point in the last few seconds, big white thing there landed. Don't know what happened. Must have been something out the air or something. Didn't even see it. Loads of people pointed out because of course you did. Thanks. Fortunately, it's only in the last 5 seconds, so it could be worse.
Sorry, just incoming bird strike there.
A lot of pigeons.
We appear to have become one with nature.
Anyway, so how do you fix that in After Effects?
Because you can't. You said at the time that you had tried to do the object tracking stuff.
Yeah, so
and it didn't.
Yeah, so attempt 1 was color correction. Like isolate that bit of my face, turn down the red. Doesn't work. It's the same color as my lip and the same color as the shadow under my nose. Can't be done. Option 2, use the After Effects motion tracker, lock onto it, run forward. Nope, my head's moving too fast. And there's too many other things that could be it, and it's also a bit too much blur for it to reliably track it. So, in After Effects CC, in the 2016 version, there is a face tracker.
Oh, really?
Yep, you draw a circular mask around a face, and you say, play the face tracker, and it tracks. Not only does it track where the face is, so you can mask it, but it also tracks position of eyes, nostrils, ears, mouth, everything.
So
and it gives you data points for each one.
Is it some kind of relative comparison then?
Yeah. Yeah, the catch is After Effects kind of breaks if you try and track anything longer than 15 seconds. That's true of the 3D camera tracker, that's true of loads of things. So I then had to...
So can I guess how you did this? So
yeah, go for it.
You had the thing in your face, you said it's this far from my nostrils, this far from my eyes, this far from my mouth. You did it for 15 seconds and you copy and pasted the effect effectively.
Not quite. I cut it into 15-second blocks, ran the face tracker on each one.
Yeah.
So now each face tracker effect has a set of effects below it. Each layer has a set of effects with numbers in it, saying exactly where all the focal points are.
Right.
Then there is a layer above it, which is an adjustment layer.
Okay.
In there is a simple wire removal, which is a really handy effect because not only can it be used to remove wires, it can also be used to remove little blotches. And the 2 points on it are defined on an expression which I will put on screen now.
Ooh.
The top part of it runs through the layers until it finds the top active layer, which includes the name of the file, if that makes sense. So it runs out, so this is the one that's on right now, great. From that layer, read the current position of these 2 bits of my mouth, and now find the average it so you've got the center of them. After Effects will do vector maths natively, so it will just take an X, Y position and average it. So now we've got, because there's no point where I do that or that, we've got the center of my mouth, right?
Yeah.
Then it tracks this nostril, and it draws a line based on. Originally I was going to do maths, and I realised all I need to do is set those as the baseline, then create 2 other sliders, X and Y, and just say use those as like averages. Go, that's the average. Go that percentage down it and that percentage across it, and it'll usually be in that position, and it was. That was the nightmare. That's why I had to re-render everything. That is the VFX breakdown, and those are still baby geese.
So there you go. If you wanted a breakdown of how that video was made from him, then there you go.
Yeah.
If he came here for the geese, then
Yeah, a lot of geese.
he's got them for you. You know my favourite thing about your whole description?
What?
The way you pronounce the word layer.
How to pronounce it?
Layer. Every time.
Don't start mocking my layers.
You know why I'm mentioning this?
Why?
Really?
That Tech Diff episode isn't even going to be out by the time this is. Am I mispronouncing layer? Have I been mispronouncing layer all the? I don't
You say
know.
it as one syllable, I say it as two.
Lair. Yeah, but I
Layer.
don't say lair. I don't say Lair. I say like lair.
Your diphthong is slightly different to lair, but it's
Right.
the same but with a very slightly different vowel. It sounds like a posh person saying lair.
Noted.
It's fine, like I knew what you meant.
Come here, geese.
Don't get attacked.
Hi, geese.
So here we have the Tom Scott. Tom Scott enjoys geese, birds and other things like this. And you can see now how creaky this crappy tripod is by how juddery this pan is. But there we go. Stalking them. And the parent geese don't seem to care about this natural predator. Maybe he's not much of a predator at all.
Does anyone want some Ducklings? They're going cheap.